Hey guys, welcome to the Testing Academy. My name is Pramod, and in this video we are going to discuss about the 7 deep lessons on test automation that nobody is telling you. Alright, so let's get started. Awesome guys. So before we start guys, I just wanted to let you know that there are challenges of 30 days challenges, as well as there are a couple of playlists already available. If you are someone who want to switch from manual to automation, API testing is the easiest way to start. So I would highly recommend you to go to the sdet.live/YTP, which is basically YouTube playlist, and go to the Testing Academy playlist and watch the API testing SDET Blueprint version 1, Rest Assured, and become the part of the community. You can join our Telegram group also. Okay, so let's get started. What are the deep test automation learnings that I have learned over the past 9 years? Okay, awesome. The first one is really important. Let me make it bold, which is don't try to automate everything. This is the really bad practice, and I have seen many times stakeholders, especially stakeholders basically means your director of engineers, your QA manager, your QA lead will say please automate all these scenarios, and this is really bad because uh, you can't automate what cannot be automated, right? Or if there is a chance that these test cases will be flaky, don't try to automate them, right? This is the important lesson that I have learned. And you should know what exactly you have to automate and what you not have to automate, right? This is a really thin line between those things. Actually there's no thin line, it's a very thick line, but you have to understand this. Okay, and if you are someone who is working as a senior QA, or if even if you are jumping as a QA fresher, right, please make sure you know the difference between what you have to automate and what you don't have to automate. Okay, make your scripts atomic in nature. What exactly this means, Promote? Atomic in nature basically means most of the time that I have seen people, for example, there is a staging environment where we are running our test automation. Okay, so I would recommend to create your own data, perform your task and delete the data. Make it like a more atomic in nature. And they are like a independent scripts. So they don't require a pre-built data, for example. For example, I have to check certain dashboards in your web application. Okay, there's a certain dashboard which are I need to create. So what I would recommend, so generally people what they do is that they expect that in the staging these dashboard will be available, and they will basically open these dashboards and they will verify, and that's it. But what happens is someone is basically using the same dashboards, or they basically try to modify it manually. They have done it, so their test cases are little flaky in nature. So I would recommend make your scripts or test automation or test cases especially atomic in nature. This is really helpful. And for all the people who are doing automation in Selenium also, please pay attention to this. This is a really important point that I'm discussing about. Make your scripts atomic in nature. Okay, now the third point is basically about the avoiding automating feature which are flaky. Flaky is basically any test case which basically you run like 2-3 times and it is failing due to some probably some environmental issues, probably your locator issues, probably some other thing that happening. And these test case is basically out of 10 times 7 times it pass or 3 times it fails, right? So this generally we call it like a flaky in nature, right? And these test case which are flaky in nature are really pain in the ass for you guys. Trust me, you will face the maintainability issues in the future because of these flaky test cases. What I would recommend with my 9 years experience, basically separate out these flaky test cases. So whatever the test case that you have, for example, you have 100 test cases, and out of which 8 you are basically saying that these are flaky in nature. What you can do is create your test suite with the 92 test cases and 8 test cases, and try to rerun those test cases 2 times, those flaky ones, to basically check for it. Okay, and you know that they will fail every time or many times due to some technical things. So avoid the flaky test. If you think that this test case will fail because of the certain things, because environment is not there, these things, data, test data is not present on the staging and all, you should avoid those test case to automate. Okay, so that's what I'm going to discuss. So this point is really important if you are thinking about so what not to automate. Okay, this thing is important. Discuss your automation strategies. This is really important. I am basically discussing this with my team also. Always discuss your automation strategies, your automation POCs with the peers. This is really important because what's happening right now is people basically do a POC and they try to implement in their automation framework. After certain time, they will face these some certain kind of issues. For example, it can be issue related to scaling, it's issue related to some sizes, heap size, or other things. They will eventually fail, basically face in the future. So always discuss your automation strategy with the peers. This is really important. Peer review your strategies. Okay, this is really important. Cool. And this is very important point. This one, which is stakeholder will ask you for 100% automation, and instead what you can say that let's do one thing. Let's prioritize our script into P0, P1, P3 kind of priority, and we will focus on the 100% automation of P0 test cases. This is really important because 100% automation is really myth for you guys. Suppose you have 100 test cases, out of which 20 are P0. So your first target in the test automation should be to automate the P0 scenarios first, not the entire suite. Okay, of course, this is really important for you to, if you have a bandwidth, definitely go with the P3 scenarios also. But what I would recommend is 100% automation of P0, P1, so that you are not missing the blunder in your test automation. This is really important, and this is really important learning from my 9 years of experience. So if you're watching it, please tell your stakeholders that we will not do an 100% automation. We will do 100% automation of P0 or P1. We will try to do that, but trust me, 100% automation is myth, and instead use a prioritization method, okay, to do that. Okay, and this is really important even if you are automating, if you are automating any feature. For example, if you are automating a login feature or a sign up feature for a web application, right? You should know the feature, what exactly is behind the scene. After logging in, after entering username, password, where it is going, what is the database that we are using, what happens if the data, if the login is failure, what kind of error we are getting. So you should know the feature. What I have seen is that people don't know the full feature. They have a still doubts in the feature, but they are automating it, and after that they will say, in the end, I have created this script, now it is failing and I don't know why it is failing, because you don't know what you are automating. So make sure you know your feature well. Okay, and second last important thing is, please guys, please pay attention to this. Don't add your scripts just for the sake, because your stakeholders, for example QA lead, has told you to do that. Please don't add that scripts. If that script basically is not covering, is not important, don't add your test automation scripts to your test suite. Focus on the coverage module wise. If you have a certain modules, for example, if you had a web application where we have two modules, sign up and login, focus on the coverage, focus on the test cases important, rather than focusing on some automating an about us page which is have no use. Okay, so those things are important. Always don't miss your touch points of the app. Whatever the points the user is touching, make sure you are automating and covering in your automation. This is really important. Okay, now why automating so this is really important question generally people ask you, is this why your automated test cases don't find bugs. First of all, automation is all about finding the regression bugs. They are not they generally don't find any new bugs. This is make your system reliable. The automation test cases are just to make your regression more reliable in nature. They will make sure your regression works, and if there is an issue in the regression, they will find that, right? And I will highly recommend to basically read this article about why bugs are found by test, not by automation. Okay, so this is really important for you, all of them. If any stakeholders is basically telling you that why automation is not finding the bugs, tell them to read this article. This is really important. Okay, so make sure you bookmark this and send them whenever they say that your automation is not finding bug. Automation is all about regression, reliability, and finding bug is basically the part of test cases, not the automation. Okay, thanks a lot. I hope you have learned something new, 7 deep important lesson that I was able to basically consolidated for you guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you're someone who's want to learn about API testing, Selenium and all, definitely give it a try. Go to the sdet.live/ytp. SDET Blueprint version 2 is coming, guys. So if you are someone who is interested, please let me know in the comment about the SDET Blueprint version 2, where we will be helping you to switch from manual testing to automation. Okay, and this will be like a 1 month class, and we will be doing it on the Zoom mostly, and I will share more details in the future. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.